Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio.
Well, hello, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Oxchair, on the show this evening is the one and only Albert, and Robert. Evening, Albert.
How are you, pal? How are you doing?
Good, mate. How are you, Robert?
I'm good, mate. Good to hear from your two selves.
Yes, a lot of rose between two thorns tonight, isn't he, Albert?
He's going to get stabbed tonight. Is that the right word?
Body armor on.
Oh, dear. Listen, well, we've not heard your views on the game on Sunday, Albert, and we'll go to Robert first, and then Albert, I know you've had time to reflect. You were on with my good self after the game. So, Robert, here's your thoughts on Sunday's performance and game and the controversy that followed.
Well, for me, Ox, it was a slow start, quite a sluggish first half, if I'm being honest, in my opinion. Again, going behind an away fixture, I thought the question marks were going to be raised again. But credit to the team, they dug in. I think Diomandi's goal just before half time was a bit of a game changer for me, getting to break it the level. I think if we were in one behind, then certainly Dundee would have been a bit more resolute defensively, parked the bus and tried to kind of see the game out. But good bit of character from the lads, even the ones that came on. And obviously 3-1 looks pleasing on the eye. A couple of good goals in there as well. Thought Dessers took his goal fantastically again. Quite a tight angle. But overall, mate, quite happy with the second half performance. And then obviously get the 3 points, which is the most important thing. Obviously, as you say, the controversial part was the Diomande sending off, which I think we can all agree was an absolute shocking decision from the referee.
We can nearly all agree. I said a couple of so-called experts, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. The ones with the proper glasses on, you can see the game. How the referees came to that decision, and then obviously been sent to the screen by VAR and sticking with his decision was really bemusing, to put it a nice way. But no, overall, mate, 3 points on the board, and that's the most important thing at this stage in the season.
And who's shone for you, mate? What player's shone for you?
To be honest with you, mate, I think there was kind of an overall level basis in the team. Again, kind of Raskin in midfield, obviously, been doing what he's been doing. Dessers, I thought, worked the channels and the line well, leading it. And obviously getting his goal, took it well. So, no real standouts for me, mate. I think we all kind of level par on the day.
It's all about opinions, mate. It's all about opinions. Albert, now you've had time to reflect.
I agree with Robert. The first half hour was pretty slow, mate. They were actually struggling to contain it and get in the game. But you got to remember, these young players, and let's be, that was a young team, right? And they decided to stick a boot on them to see where they would do. As far as that's concerned, they come through that half hour, and after that, they started getting the top of the game till we go to the second half, and they just took over the game. Now, you got to remember, the reason they're sticking the boot in is their manager's a hammer thrower. He was a hammer thrower as a player. That's just his style, mate. So they took a chance. They've looked at the team and went, I think if we rough these boys up a bit, we might get some change out of this game today. And it nearly worked for them, let's be honest about it. It nearly worked for them. But again, it's strong refereeing required for games like that, which we just didn't get, mate. Somebody it's no attuned to what supporters of teams are looking for. No, I mean, we're looking for the skill in football, but it's just a throwback to the old days when the stick a boot in was the name of the game. No, I mean, the best fighter won the game, the kicker, the thug won the game usually in the past. But I'm happy with the boys standing up to it. They stood up to it and they played some football and they scored some magnificent goals, mate. Really, honestly, some cracking goals. Well, the manager done superbly well. He's doing a magnificent job, in my opinion. I know there's a lot out there who don't think it, but in my opinion, he's doing a magnificent job under really, really difficult circumstances. Probably the worst circumstances that any Rangers managers had before, apart from Ali McCoist, who had an unbelievably difficult job today when he just took over. But
I'm not saying you're right or wrong, Albert, but is the point that I'm not trying to take sides, and you've been entitled to abuse others see it differently, and they're entitled to phone up here and debate with anybody, yeah? However, it's the point you're trying to make that he's brought in squad, got the wage bill down, got us playing some decent stuff at times, yeah? At times we recognise that, and he's put value into the squad, i.e. Jeffy, Barron, Diamande, Igaman, yeah? They're all value that we didn't have in these positions last year. Is that the point you're trying to make, mate?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. If people would just give him a chance to open their eyes and look what the guys had today. I mean, letting all these players go at the beginning and all the high earners, wasn't his choice? It was a necessity for the club. And that's how he got his extra year, because he didn't buy into that. His idea when he signed up at first and the agreement he had was to come in there, rejig the squad slightly, put a couple of players in place and get us playing and getting us win trophies. That was the remit. What he actually walked in, he was a total and utter shambles. No football park to play in for a start, and it's in the new season. You know what I mean? You've got to let 16 players go. You've got to reduce it, and you've got to reduce the wage bill. We needed that money coming back in to buy players because we never got much money. You've got to take all this into account. But I'm not making excuses for the guy. The guy, in my opinion, is doing a magnificent job. And I'll say it before, he might not get through his whole term, but whoever takes over from him, and it will happen one day, whoever takes over him is walking into a really strong position. No a position that he walked into. He walked into a shambles, mate. And he's trying to make some sense out of it. So is Coppin as well, and the new CEO and the new chairman. They're trying to sort all this mess out, and they're doing it. And so far, so good. And they've got quality in the squad now.
All right, okay. And Chris, just your take on it, Robert, before we go back to the game on Sunday and what's happened since.
I think I agree with Albert in a sense that the hand that Clement's been dealt with was a very difficult one, and it doesn't seem to be kind of getting easier, obviously, with injuries and all the troubles off the park, the stadium, the boardroom kind of replacements as well. I think, as you all know, you'll get based as a manager on success, but he is bringing, as Albert says, quality and youth into the squad, which is something we have asked for a number of years. So I agree with him in that sense, but I think obviously overall he will ultimately be judged on his success as a manager. You can look at that as two ways in terms of success as trophies or success as in reducing the wage bill, bringing in quality players to add profit into transfers in the future. That's successful in its own term, but overall, mate, we all know you've got to be winning trophies. So there's certainly signs of improvement since the form that we had and the question marks were raised. So there is improvements, and his hand is still not the strongest, let's be honest, because of the injuries.
Just want to ask you a question, Albert, and then Robert can speak. I think you recognise him. Obviously, we talk. Everybody knows that we all talk half-aired. But listen, if you win football matches, the pressure moves away. If you don't win football matches, it just rolls and rolls and rolls, doesn't it? So he's got to keep winning football matches. It's as simple as that. Eh? And ultimately, sometimes you need to win the right ones, yeah?
Absolutely, mate. There's no doubt about that. I mean, if he doesn't win matches, he's going to get these jaws. That's just a fact of life. I'm not talking about that anyway. I'm talking about other things that you've got to look at the situation, the overall club, and where we sit, and what has to be done, and what priority you take to do it. So you've got to put it in order, mate. And that's what they're doing. They're putting it in order. So the right things are getting done at the right order and at the right time. Then you get strength in the club. Then you get a foundation, and now you can move forward. The sort of haphazard and the crazy way we were doing it before for the last 5, 6, 7 years. No disregarding for the 2012, but the last 5, 6, 7 years, it's nuts, mate. It was absolutely nuts. We're spending good money here, mate, and getting no value for it. And we're not even putting players in place and things in the background that was actually helping the first team. and helping the club and revenue streams and all this. I mean, it's all, the revenue streams are all away from football. It's got nothing to do with the actual what's happening on the pitch or happening in the academy. So that's all got to be put in place, mate. That's the foundations of your club. These are the things that the other clubs throughout the country, up and down, the real successful ones, are doing, mate. They've got all that sorted and it's working for them. We've just got a total and utter shambles. So it had to be done, mate. It's got to be done and it's got to be done in order. And that's what this manager is there today. Disregard the results at the moment. I know you can't disregard the results. We've got to win games, we've got to win cups, we've got to win leagues. That's on the background at the moment. Eventually that'll be on the foot. That'll be right up front and centre. But at the present time, it's no there. But we've still got to win matches. You're right, mate. It's a results-driven business. That's just the name of the game.
Aye. Robert?
I mean, if you just take it away from Ox this season on a kind of standalone level, if we'd won the games that we've lost points in, even draws, if they turned them into wins, we're not a million miles away. And I think that kind of comes down to the manager as well, because of the players that he has brought in. He said there, mentioned Yefty, Iggyman, Barron, Cherny. These are players that have come in, made an impact in the squad. So he's done well in terms of the recruitment to identify areas of improvement. They're certainly adding quality to the squad. And as I said, the results will prove in the end. And I think Albert's right. In time, this will click. Us as fans, we obviously demand that a lot quicker than what it has shown. But over time, mate, I'm confident that the players we've got will improve. Any transfers we bring into the squad will be the right ones. I think Copton's recruitment so far has been pretty close to good. Not exceptional, but certainly good. It's just about getting that away form sorted, and then it comes together. The European form as well. You look at the teams we've played, 4 are in the top 8, and we're still in a position that we've qualified for at least a playoff spot with a very slim chance on Thursday night to progress. And again, that comes down to what the managers worked with and done it at the times. As Albert says, there's games where it has been really good football, really good points, and it's just about consistency in the league particularly.
Playing devil's advocate here, Robert, is the problem is that some people have made their mind up and they'll never change. Even, I mean, I've been frustrated at times and I've criticised them on after games and I put my hand up about that. And I've talked about it with Albert off air and what I've thought, and I've been at the end of my tether. The St Mirren game I thought was awful, horrible. At times the first half was abysmal. For the second half of the first half, we just seemed to go to pieces. Easter Road, we were coursing and we get it wrong, but then injuries have kicked in. Sterling's on half, I've broke King on. We've got a goalie that's not played a lot of games for his own goals. We've not got Souters no playing. There's circumstances, but I get that in some respects. But I've been frustrated and I understand what other people think also. But with some of these people, will never change their mind, and they'll just pick on it and pick on it. Eventually, as Albert says, they will be proved right, because every manager goes eventually, doesn't it?
Of course I do, and I mean, we're all been frustrated at times. You've mentioned a handful of games there, but we've all been frustrated, and we'll all be frustrated in different levels. And I think that just comes down to the standards and expectations us as supporters expect from our club. It's the famous Glasgow Rangers. We're known to be winning trophies and winning titles. The past 12, 13 years have been a long journey for us, but we've been to a European final, we've won 55. There's a lot of factors that have hampered a bit of success. So I do understand the frustration as well. And I'm like yourself, there's been times where I've looked at a game and thought that could have been it, that could have been the final game for him. But he has kind of turned it around at times. He's got reactions. So I do understand the frustration, but I think, as you say, people do make their minds up. But I think that's just the fact that's ingrained in their minds and in their hearts that we demand better than what we were seeing.
Listen, they're entitled to do that. They're entitled to make their mind up, yeah. Everybody sees things different. That's what it's all about. That's life in general. Albert?
It's true, mate. You allow your opinion. If you don't like it, you don't like it. I mean, you don't like the man, you don't like him, man. That's fair enough with me. But we're talking. I feel that we're talking at cross purposes here. One, I agree that the results have got to change. That's no doubt about that, and we've got to start winning trophies. That's a given, mate. That will never change. That will never change, mate. No matter who's in that hot seat, or for any club for that matter. What I'm saying is, there's two separate things here. There's two separate things. That's one. It's solid, rock solid, never changed. The one it is changing and has to change before you get to this. The first one is changing the background, changing the structure, changing this, changing that, changing everything that needs to be done. And I'm telling you right now, you don't need hundreds of millions of pounds to build a football team. You just don't. What you need is know-how. You need to get the right people in the right place to bring the right players, the right systems, right? And you need to back up with it. And you start that on the background, mate. That's what we're going through at the moment. And that's why the results are no right on the park. But as Robert's pointed out, it's the away form, mate. It's not just, he's got parts of it, right? The home form and the European stuff is fine. It's the away form it's catching them. And that will get you your books eventually. You don't get it changed. Of course it will. But again, I'll go back to, you need the right people in the right place, mate. And that's for all the way through the club, not just at the manager's level, right through the club. And that's what's happening now. That's what I can see happening now. I can see us building something that's going to actually bear fruit. And not just we won a league one season, or we've won a couple of cups this season. I'm talking sustained success, mate. I'm talking that the club's growing and actually making money. And the fact or the fear that we're ever going to get into administration just goes away, mate. And the club starts taking off, and when it starts building on a solid base, then we can get back to the reputation of being the famous Glasgow Rangers. But we'll have to build it, mate. And nobody's going to haunt it to us. We have to build it ourselves. Then that brings us into a whole new world of what do we need to do to build this club? You need to take as much influence away for the SFA and the SPFL as the club can do, mate. Personally, nothing to do with Scottish football, just Rangers. They need to take as much away for their influence. And that's why you need to go offshore with your youth stuff, because these clowns that run this game have got Rangers especially boxed into a box, mate, and Rangers can't get out of this box. No matter what way they turn, they can't get out of it. So they need to think out the box. We need to take a whole new approach to this, mate, which will bring a new revenue stream in. That's what I'm talking about.
Interesting, mate. Interesting, I'm sure. Maybe during the international break, we can maybe have a special on that. But you made a nice segue there into the clowns that run Scottish football. Do you know where I'm going with that, Robert?
I have a feeling, mate. I have a feeling.
Right. I don't find Bradley Walsh particularly funny. I find him quite talented. But Nick Walsh, he's a bit of a comedian. Robert?
That is going to be one of the most shocking decisions I've seen this season or in a long time in football. I said it earlier, how he's came to that conclusion and stuck with his decision after being sent to the monitor. It's absolutely baffling, mate. Absolutely baffling. I think even if we were on the other end of that, you're looking at it going, that is an absolute shocker. There's no chance that is a red card. Some pundits, as you said earlier, they think it's a red card, but I think that's just to get the bites on the media out there. But I don't know. I mean, the referee standards have been shocking. I mean, the Diamondi red card alone was bad. And then you look at the handball as well that we didn't get. That's two decisions that he's got completely wrong way round, in my opinion.
Right. I said it on Sunday, my initial reaction. I watched it back, it got worse and worse, yeah? Because you always think, when you see something live, I've missed something, don't you? Yeah?
Oh, there's a fair chance you will. It's just a fact, isn't it?
Aye. And if you're at the game, you'd come out of there. I know things have changed with phones and all that, but if you're at the game, you'd come out and say, no, he must have done something. He's been straight red. What's he done? Has he kicked to it? I've not seen it at the game. And I watched all that back on Sunday before we done the show, and I watched it back after we done the show, and it just got worse and worse and worse when I looked at it. And I'll say it again, mate. The referees, they're either incompetent, they're being pressurised, or they're cheats. Or as Bridge says, it's a combination of 2 out of 3 of them, yeah? Or maybe even 3 of them, mate. Because there's something going on, mate, and you can smell it.
Oh, aye. But see, my big fear is, and it's got to be said here, by the way, my big fear is Scottish football, for a refereeing and officiating point of view, is on the verge of collapse, mate. I don't care what anybody says. This is ridiculous now. This is absolutely ridiculous. The game is nearly collapsing, mate. And we've all said it before. If you've not got referees and officials, there is no game, right? So it's on the verge, mate. Because what's happening here is if the referees in Bolam and his brigade want credibility and trust, they need to earn that, mate. And the only way they can earn that is by refereeing these games and doing the VAR properly, mate, fairly. No just for Rangers, for everybody, because every team in this league, bar one, are getting these dodgy decisions all over the place, mate. And it's not right. We all know what's going on here. There's one team in the division that don't get any issues or decisions against them. And this is the same team that's great for over 50 years about skullduggery and cheating and people know the conspiracy theory against them with referees, blah, blah, blah. Don't hear much of them talking now and greeting now, do you? There's not much to greet about, is there? Because they get every decision near enough. They get decisions that for them or don't get decisions against them at all. So the credibility's out the window, mate. And it's all down to some of these referees are terrified. Absolutely terrified, and you're rightly so, because it's their families and their own property that these people are going to and intimidating them. So that's a fact. Then you've got the social media side of it, mate. They're fair to make a decision against them because they all pile on them in the social media. As far as I'm concerned, if you take up a referee's position, you come off that social media right away. Don't listen to it because it's going to influence your decision making on the park, and that's a fact. The other thing that I've got a problem with, mate, is that you can see there's off-field and nothing to do with the referees department. Call it a department. I don't know if it's a department, but the referees department. The influence is coming from outside of them, with other people, whoever it is. Get a fair idea who it is.
Are you saying there's some TV pundits trying to influence decisions? Is that the point?
There's also CEOs of certain clubs. I'm going to say clubs, but I know it's club is making an influence on this as well. And now we're in this stupidity. And that silly decision on Sunday there is just the peak. It's just got to that bad that you're standing looking at that wee guy. He makes the wrong decision. He gets told to go to VAR and he walks over there and his own ego and what he's thinking, oh, if I don't give this red card, I don't stick by that, I'm going to get it in social media. I'm going to get it. He might even get it off his own bosses or whoever's in the background. But he's doubling down on it. And you're just making yourself a bigger fool. And this is where the credibility and trust comes in, mate. If everybody's watching that and say he goes to the monitor, sees he's made a mistake, walks out, says, right, that's not a red card, I'm going to book the 2 years, right? But he's going to send the other boy off if he does. But anyway, he's just going to book the 2 years. Everybody says, well, that's fair enough, eh? The two of them are at it. They're silly wee daft things. Diamande gets taken in with Clement and he gets a bollocking for getting involved in something in the 94th minute when you're 3-1 up. You know what I mean? With seconds to go in the clock. He'll get a bollocking for that. But now, as you pointed out after the game, we're all talking about this. And we really shouldn't be talking about it because it was a good game of football from a neutral point of view and we get a victory and we're all happy from your point of view. But there you go. So credibility and trust, they've got to earn it, mate. And they've got to earn it across the board in every game. Not just our games, every game. They've got to do this, right? You've heard all these other managers going out moaning and groaning about it. It's not just Rangers. So it's on the verge, mate. It's on the verge of collapse because people definitely don't trust these referees. We don't trust these linesmen. Connor's a good example of that. There's a Celtic supporter in a VAR room and he makes that decision. He's calling that out as it's not a penalty. It's mere out and in. What a stupid statement, mate. He's just telling you I'm cheating here, by the way. I know I'm not cheating, but I'm going to just let you all know I'm cheating. That's the way it is, mate. That's what I see.
Listen, so here's an interesting one for you, right? Mr. Welsh, whatever you want to call him, the Welsh, yeah. And if you're looking that up in Old English, you'll understand where I'm coming from. Look it up, you might get it. Right, the Welsh. Right, however, right, Robert. So he obviously struggles with VAR, yeah, and looking at a TV screen, yeah, correct?
Correct.
So he must see something on the telly, yeah, that didn't happen, correct?
Correct.
Right, so when he watches Only Fools and Horses, Del Boy doesn't fall through the bar, correct?
Correct.
He must see things that doesn't happen. Is that fair, Albert?
It's true. He sees it, mate. It's just
Right.
his ego's going away.
So what have we done? We've put a guy who can't watch the telly properly. We've took him away for the games at the weekend, and we'll put him watching the telly.
It's stupid, isn't it? It's really stupid. Oh,
just get outward game. You're ruining it. You're incompetent, or you're a cheat. One or the other. Have the cojones to admit you're not good enough and move on. You've been fun out, Robert.
100%, mate. And as much as we always have a moan and a grumble about VAR, they done their job at the weekend and said, you've made an error here. And as Albert said, Nick Walsh has went over and his ego has went, nah, I'm sticking with this. I still don't understand what he's seen, because you've got thousands of people watching it. It gets reviewed. But if that appeal wasn't successful today, that's Dale Mandy suspended. It then costs us players, could impact a squad. There's a far bigger picture than just a red card in the final few minutes. And as Albert's rightly saying, it's clearly against Rangers. Let's not be about the bush. Clearly, I can't believe we are coming up to February and there's not been one penalty in the league awarded to us. And how many times have we seen decisions after games be reviewed and say they got it wrong? How many more times do they need to say it until action is taken?
I've no checked this out, mate, but I think the last 8 penalties before that, mate, had to be awarded by VAR.
Aye. You're probably spot on, mate. You're not far off it if you're not, but you're never usually wrong, are you, Ox?
No, I've just checked that out. That's from memory, mate, and my memory's getting worse. Yeah,
but see, that's the point. That's a good point, Ox. That proves the point that there's outside influences and influence now. Because Rangers got penalties. And in my opinion, because I'm a Rangers supporter, most of them were all penalties. You might have the odd few in there, you go, oh, it's a bit soft. Every team gets that. But in my view, most of them are penalties. So we're getting the penalties, whether they're due penalties. Now all of a sudden, something happens in an AGM, and now you don't get any penalties. So it proves the point that there's influence outside of the referee department. Somebody's telling them not to give penalties. And that's a fact, mate. It's there in black and white. You can't argue the point. It's there in black and white. And I hate talking about referees. I hate this conspiracy theory. I hate all this nonsense. But it's got to be called out. You cannot ignore this any longer, because we're getting refereed to a different standard. McInnes was out greeting about it. Even Goodwin's great about it in the past. But they're only getting this occasionally. We're getting this every week. Every week's a controversial decisions in our games. You're going, why is it only us? When's the last time they had a controversial decision in their game? That mob across the city. Last season against Hearts. That was the last one I remember. They don't get them, mate. And everybody was telling, I heard somebody saying, but they usually finish games early. That's not true. It's just simply not true. They finish some games early.
Look at the Ross County game. There was a blatant red card for Johnson. Yeah. Look at the two incidents. Put them on your telly side by side. The Johnson when he fouls a boy for the penalty kick, and Diamandi's, and you say, what one of these is a red card at the refereeing training school? What will you come up with, Albert?
It's easy, mate. It's easy, isn't it? It's the we're no referees as we can see. All right, we're supporters of a particular club. That's fine. We're always going to tilt towards our club. But I think we're pretty fair-minded overall, not all the time, but overall, to say, hold on a minute, we're not wanting to do favours. I would start greeting my face in if they started giving you silly decisions and getting it off. We've even said it, here, we got away with one there. Look at the Motherwell game, the goal that got disallowed. Most of the Rangers fans came out and went, oh, that's a bit bad. That was a goal, actually. I mean, you don't hear that for the other mob. You don't hear that at all, because every decision they get in their favour is always the correct decision. Always. Never, ever a controversy there. Never, ever hear any of them moaning. And that's why you know it's all a farce. That's why you know we're getting refereed to a different standard altogether, mate. Completely different standard. And it's no fair. And you can't do it. If you want credibility and you want trust, you can't do that. You must be right across the board. Fairness across the board. Referee the way you see it. That's fine. I'm not asking for referees to give us favours or referee it a different way so we win. I'm not asking for any of that. I'm just asking for fairness, mate. And Walsh could have done it in Sunday there. He could have gave that decision, which is fair enough. He thinks he sees something. But he walked to VAR after they tell him to walk, because that's a clear and obvious mistake, right? Go out there and have a look at that. And he looks at it and then doubles down. And that's where you say, that's your credibility out the window, son. And then it gets to reverse today. You go, look what you're doing. You're making a fool of yourself. You're making a fool of the game. You're in charge of that game. And I'll guarantee you, see that never get called out of VAR. And he get let alone with that. See, after Tavernier took that free kick, he wasn't blowing full time. He was letting that game go for at least another minute, maybe even two, to see what just happened. But the fact that it all went pear-shaped and he got called out of VAR, he's went to say, "Lenny, he finish his game and finish it now." So can he take the kick? Let's the goalkeeper kick the ball and then blows for full time. I'm saying, right, you know what you've done. But anyway, that's just my opinion, mate.
Yes. Right, we better get his phone lines opened. We've done a wee rabbit hole there, eh, Robert?
Aye, absolutely, mate. Good to hear from the callers. Hopefully get some in the night. Gives a point of view.
Wait till you get him wound up, mate. You just go straight to the tune. Just wind him up with some one of these toy soldiers, you know what I mean?
He goes away and reads in a library and everything.
I told him what I'd done one night when he was on the show. He didn't believe me.
Wait and read a book. Shocking, isn't it? It's shocking, isn't it, Robert? It's
what?
Right.
Know what the name of the book was, Robert?
War and Peace.
Aye, correct. Right, let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Listen, I've been doing this show for quite a while, since I was maybe 17 or something. I started doing this, they're laughing at the back, right? Oh, they're laughing at the back.
Used to do your homework and then do the show.
And I think we talked even on Sunday. Me and you disagreed about the penalty decision. I still don't think it was a penalty. I've watched it back. I don't think it was a penalty. And if it had happened up against us, I would have been raging. But that's subjective. That's a handball. That's it's your opinion, how you see it, and interpretation. I get all that. Understand that. I'm no one for having a go at referees, even playing football. I always recognise that you can't have a game without one. Yeah, I was frustrated. Aye, we've had our moments, all you have, with referees. However, we've had decisions and we've come on, and usually we look at our defects, Albert, and what we've done wrong, and we maybe self-critical of our own team. But this is getting a bit much now. You know, it's becoming a regular occurrence. We thought VAR was something that was going to eliminate the howlers. There's a howler, and VAR never stopped it. Robert?
You're 100% again, mate. I think VAR was brought in, as you said, when you're refereeing a game live, you've got a split decision to make. VAR was brought in to kind of look at them and say, have you got it correct or have you not got it wrong? And if you've got a fellow referee who's went through the same training and are so-called experienced, because let's be fair, there's not a lot of referees in our league, but they're all of a similar experience compared to some of the younger guys that are coming through. If you've got somebody telling you you've made a clear and obvious error and you're looking at it, you've just got to go and look at it. And even if it's going to go against your decision, it's the right decision at the end. And again, Albert said it, ego. The referees have got an ego. They've got vendetta, conspiracy, any word you want to use. It's the standard. The absolute standard is shocking. And it has gone on far too long. And I don't think it's going to get any better because, as I said, if that's your so-called experienced referee, anybody coming through now, are they going to get the exact same training, the exact same level? If so, it's going to get worse before it gets better. And that's what VAR was meant to do. As you said, eliminate these errors You make mistakes in a game. Every player, every manager, every referee. But VAR was meant to not re-referee the game, but spot these errors to say, no, you got it wrong. And sometimes as a referee, you've just got to go and say, yep, I did. And that's not happening. Not consistently and not correctly either.
Yeah. So Del Boy never fell through the bar on the TV, Paul Bear. Help me out. What's he saying?
And that bit of comedy doesn't exist now. In his world, anyway. Yeah, I mean, just on the penalty. I thought it was a penalty, right? Just on that. I've not changed my mind. I've seen it again 2 or 3 times, and I still no change. It's a penalty, mate. And I'll tell you why. I'm not going to explain why that's a penalty, but I'll explain. Like, so you've said in the past that you don't let. I'll start off this way. I think all the grey areas in the game should be taken away for these referees. They're idiots, mate. Let's be honest about it. And if you keep the grey areas in here, they're going to exploit them with their stupidity, their absolute stupidity, mate. In my opinion, all handballs in the area is a penalty. That's a black and white now. If you touch the ball with your hand in the area, no matter where it is on your body, no matter where, if your back's there, it's a penalty kick. I know you don't like. I know your argument on it. I'll tell you why you're wrong, right? Because these referees now are calling these decisions, going, well. And if you look at the rule's that complicated now. You're going, wait a minute.
Yep,
what does it all mean now? Right. Now, you're saying that people start aiming the ball at your hands. So what? So what? It takes a bit of skill to hit the hands, but it's up to the defender to keep his hands out the way. You're not supposed to use your hands at all in a football game. It's only the goalkeepers. That's why I don't get these penalty kicks and they hit your hand. It's not a penalty. It's that's okay. It wasn't quite a penalty. It is a penalty. That's the black and white. Black and white, mate. It hits your hand, it's a penalty. It also takes into account corner kicks, mate. When you get all this wrestling, you've not to use your hands, remember. It's football. No wrestling or boxing or whatever you want to call it. You're not supposed to use your hands. But all I see is players using their hands. They're just grabbing a hold of each other. Penalty kicks. You can touch the ball out the area with a penalty kick. And I've a fair chance that you're not going to get penalised for it. It's nonsense, mate. We're making the game a total nonsense with all these grey areas. Take the grey areas out the game altogether, mate. That's what you need to do for these referees, because look at the state we're in now. It's people are saying it's a penalty. People, aye. It used to be, did that touch his horn? Aye, what's a penalty? You don't get that anymore now. That was the only controversy in penalties. Did it touch his horn? Is it clear? You've got VAR here now. If it touches your horn, it's a penalty. Done. Finished. End of story. That's my opinion on that one.
Right. I'll tell you who I disagree with. I don't disagree with everything you've said there, but I disagree with small ones. You'll not realise this, but I do. Yeah, good players, yeah, go up to people, and used to, I know you wouldn't be able to do it, but you walk up, you just look at half of somebody's horn, penalty kick. That's not a game of football. That becomes hockey. Yeah.
No, that's a game of football. That's you're not supposed to use your hands, mate.
No.
Keep your hands out the way.
You'll flick it off somebody's horn, and that's a penalty kick. That's not the game of football.
A penalty kick, mate.
No.
What you're saying is no football, mate. What you're saying is
what would you do then? If you were dribbling into somebody? I know you maybe know the basic skills to do it, but that's a different debate, right? Right.
I'm too good, mate. I'm too good. I'm telling you right now, I could do that.
Right. So you just go up to somebody, edge of the box, flick up their hand, penalty kick. And in professional football, you'd be told to do it.
Right. And what happens if the defender's that clever? He keeps his hands out the way. Is he not supposed to keep his hands out the way? Why are you making the game? Why are you making the game more difficult for the forward than for the defender? Defending is. If you get a good defender's a great player to watch. A good defender, and I'll throw a couple of names out: Maldini, Baresi, people like that, Beckenbauer. They're great. Bobby Moore, great defenders, absolutely brilliant defenders. Defending properly is an art, mate. But this carry on that you're allowed to pull and haul people at corner kicks, and you can touch. Wait a minute. You can touch.
I don't disagree with that. I don't.
You can touch. You can touch the ball in the area with your hand and get a fair chance it's not going to be used as a penalty. It's nonsense, mate. Absolute nonsense.
No, I don't agree with you at all with that last bit.
Well, that's why you're in the state you're in now with the game. What's a penalty? What's no a penalty? That's why we're in this state right now. It's nonsense. Take all that out. Let's go on with the game. Don't touch the ball with your hand. Only the goalkeepers. Done. Skies. That's it. Everything else, you touch that ball with your hand. It's a foul or a penalty.
The game would become farcical, mate. There would be too many Well, we might go 2 years between
How would it become farcical,
too many penalties in the game. Yeah.
No.
Robert,
How would it become farcical? How would it become farcical? How? That used to be the way it was before. How is it going to become? It was.
Never the rule, mate. That was never the rule. I'm sure we'll get a referee on it, maybe base. Robert
Williams listening. William, come in and clear this.
He was here a second ago, but he'll be right back. Robert, you come on. You could split us up here. Split us up.
I'll try and be the voice of it.
What is a part?
I'll try and be the voice of reason and get 2 parts. I think Allbear's right. You need to clear up the grey areas. Handball is probably the biggest one of, is it a handball? Is it not? Is it a natural position? For me, I would like to see ex-pros within VAR or become referees, because they know what is a natural position. Certain players have to fit criteria, but that's up to the SFE to deal with that. That's another show. But what I mean is, you've got a referee saying what's a natural position and what's not. They've not played the game. What is natural? A defender will tell you what is natural. So I agree, you've got to clear up the grey area. But what I don't agree with Albert is, if it hits the hand, it's a handball, because you can get accidental flicks and it comes off the hand and the hand's by the side. Because for me then, it's stop, start, and that's not an enjoyable game of football. Clear the grey areas up.
2-1.
Make it a clearer rule for the handball, because right now you could debate umpteen handballs during the game. I mean, you take the Declan Gallagher one, you've got Ox saying it's not. I'll think it's a penalty because he's brought his arm down. That to me, that's not natural. But somebody might have a different opinion. But that's why I'd like to see ex-pros involved.
And by the way, I'm no longer a Declan Gallagher. By the way.
Right, I'll argue it a different way for you. I'll argue it a different way. Do you agree that these referees are idiots?
I've done the day since 8 o'clock is arguing. You carry on.
See, do you agree these referees are idiots? Right, they can't be trusted with the basic bits of football. What chance do they go when you start putting?
I don't know my way for football. I just take them as referees.
They're idiots as referees. I don't know them as but as a referee, as football, they're idiots. Let's be honest about it. They can't be trusted. That's proven now. Frank Connor proved that point, didn't it? They cannot be trusted. Right. So you say to yourself, hold on a minute here. If you're giving them the choice, right, to say, do you think that's subjective? That hit his on there accidentally, right? What do you think? I'm not going to give that then because it was accidentally. Your opinion. My opinion, that was a penalty on Sunday there. You're saying it's no. Why? It hits his horn accidentally. Didn't he mean it? Hit his horn, what? Take it away from him. Hit his horn. Hits his horn. You're not allowed to use your horns. End of. I don't know if he's got this hard idea that, we need to go. There's other things I would take off referees, like the advantage rule. I mean, no. Absolutely no. No for them. They're idiots, mate. They're total idiots, mate. They're getting advantage so no to get a foul and book somebody. They're using it that way. It's madness, mate. You've got to take all the grey areas away from them and make it a nice, simple black and white decision. There you are. Handball, foul. Handball, penalty. Right, that's it done. That's it done, mate. In the area. Just say to them before the game, well, I'm telling you right now, if a corner kick or a free kick comes into your box and I catch anybody's horns on another player, an opposition player, it's going to be a penalty. It's going to be a foul and a penalty. You've got to cut all this out, mate. All I watch is, and there's another one, obstruction. Does that not exist anymore? All I see is players getting obstructed, not just at corner kicks, all over the park.
I don't disagree with 90% of what you've said there, mate. Obstruction, the pulling and hauling in the box. Yeah, there's so many things. By the way, one thing you laugh at, the farce trying to teach me boys back in the day how to take throw-ins. That doesn't happen anymore, a full throw, does it? Yeah.
Well, it happened with us. We've had it once or twice, but it doesn't normally happen, no.
You don't get that in the top level, but I don't agree with the penalty kick rule, mate. I don't.
Well, I
You'll never convince me. You're not the first. to try, mate. You're not the first to try. This is not a new debate.
So you've entrenched yourself. That's that. You're not open-minded about that. You're entrenched yourself.
I'm very open-minded. You know that.
I'm telling you, it's nuts, mate. It's not. We're greeting about referees, and we're greeting about how incompetent they are, and they'll not be trustworthy. And then we want to do nothing in the game to help them, or take away the responsibility.
Well, I tell you,
take away decision making.
I tell you, the first thing I would do, the tap leagues, I would take timekeeping away from them, and I would also
definitely do that.
I would also stop the clock. Yeah, and you might end up the game getting cut to an hour because it would frighten you if you stopped the clock when the ball was out of play.
I agree with the taking the timekeeping away from them, especially when it gets to how much 4 minutes. Okay, 4 minutes. Here we go. Right. For whatever reason, it's 4 minutes. 4 minutes. All of a sudden, we're into 5, 6 minutes. What's happening? Oh, he's decided he's no blowing this whistle. Not a day with him. Should be not a day with him. The game's the game. The 90 minutes is the 90 minutes. And the injury time's the injury time. That's it, mate. But no. They pluck these magical numbers.
You wouldn't need injury time, would you? If you stopped the clock and you worked it backwards, yeah.
Exactly. Or I stop the clock when they're making substitutions and all that nonsense. There's things that can be done, but I think we'll go too far if we're saying we're going to stop the clock every time because they'll go mental. People will never get home again, especially an 8 o'clock kick-off. You'll be getting home at midnight.
Aye. That's how the Yanks have looked at it and they said the game should be an hour long, and if you done it like that, the ball would be way more. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know.
Oh, well, they've got 2 in it. They've got 2 in it. It's only in play about 50 odd minutes at best.
Aye, well, we digress there. We digress. Robert, it was a shocker the day Monday won. And where did the violent conduct come from?
Simple answer, nowhere. When I first watched it back, I didn't actually look at his arm or his hand. I actually looked at his feet because I thought that's what he gave it for, a kind of kick out. But I was like, there's no contact there. And then when you watch the highlights back and they make reference to the arm movement, I look at the hand and I still don't see anything. To me, when Diamandi's pushed, he goes off balance and his hand comes up. That's not violent conduct. That's just a guy getting shoved. So that's more of a booking for the opposition than it is for Diamandi. It's baffling, mate. It's absolutely baffling. But as I said, that's the standard we've got, and it's going to get worse, particularly if these referees don't change their minds when it matters.
Well, when they're wrong, you know, if you see something you hate and you're right, Albert, check it out with VAR. You know, if he was cute, would he not use VAR there? Oh, he couldn't have booked it to them because he had to send that boy off. But if Barbara then thought it was violent conduct, they'd have called him out to look at it. Would that not be cute refereeing with VAR now?
You mean what they do with penalties? Or Rangers penalties?
I cop out.
Cop out, mate. That's the easy answer. But to my mind, the biggest culprit, the biggest problem we'll go is Diamandi needs better coaching, mate, because he needs to learn how to throw a punch when he's getting back away, to land a punch, not to trump it out. Keep saying that. Wee slaps. You're going to hit him.
I don't think Diamandi done nothing. I think he didn't reaction. You know.
I think it was his mind. I think it was mind today, but he never done anything. He never landed on him at all, mate. He never touched him. It's stupid. But again, if you listen to certain pundits who really, as you pointed out off the show, shouldn't be doing their job. Their job is there to comment in the game, truthfully, honestly. But you don't get that in Scotland. That same idiot done that down in England. They get laughed right out. They get laughed right out the studio and told not to come back if he come out with that nonsense.
Aye. That's agenda-driven. Yeah.
Definitely.
Aye. You know, when it's not right, you've got to have the integrity to say something's not right. Yeah.
Aye. And that's the credibility and the trust. That's what you're talking about. That's what we're saying. If you'd have walked there with that VAR and looked at that and went, I got that right, get back, look, cancel that, I got that right. Everybody, I'd have went like that. Oh, that's no bad. That's good refereeing, that's all right. He got it wrong originally, but he might have thought he'd seen something. That's fair enough. You get it wrong. In the old days, that would have stood anyway, and everybody would have been greeting and moaning and going, you never had a chance to rectify that. But these referees are using VAR the wrong way. They've got a chance to rectify mistakes they might have made. And we've already said players, managers, and everybody else makes mistakes, including referees and linemen. You've got a VAR system there to check that for you. So you don't have to walk off that park going, I made a mistake, or I know I've made a mistake, or find out later at night when you watch it in the telly going, oh, that was a mistake. You actually could sort it right there and then, but no. We go to get into this controversy and carry on for days. You know what I
mean? Maybe they've got an agenda we don't see, Robert. Because I said it Sunday, we've won a game and I knew what the big story was going to be. We were laughing about it all there, weren't we?
Forget about the 94 or 95 minutes it went. We were talking about 30 seconds or something. We knew it was going to be happening. Good goals get scored, and let's be honest, there's 2 or 3 beauties get scored. No talk about that. No talk about that. Talk about wee Iggerman's ability and his entertainment value. No, don't talk about that. Let's just talk about this idiot making a mistake that he could have rectified. It's nonsense. That's Scottish football, isn't it? That is Scottish football in a nutshell.
Robert?
It's the talking points that go on the media and come onto the channels like ourselves and gets everybody talking. As you said, nobody's interested in the goals, the scoreline, the performance of individuals. As soon as there's a decision that becomes controversial, it's the biggest talking point until the next one, let's be fair, because there will be another one. I mean, you could see one on Thursday, you could see one on Sunday, so there's going to always be a decision. And as Albert said earlier on, they're becoming more consistent in our games. But another thing for me, Ox, is if the referee has made an error and he's been advised to go to the screen, he's not changed his mind, but then an appeal goes in, it's successful, you've got to look at the head of refereeing, the department there, and say, what are you doing to the referee? Putting him on VAR, that's not the right call for me. If that happens in another league, take England for example, if a Premier League referee makes a poor decision, they get given a championship game, they get demoted, or they get taken off the games completely. So you've got to have some sort of punishment for the referees as well, and that's not happened either.
Right. Well, if you're listening, phone back in, we'll bring you straight back in. I believe there's been a slight technical issue. Phone back, we'll bring you straight in. Aye, mate. I don't know, mate.
Independent VAR officials, that's what should happen in Scotland. It should happen in England as well. Independent.
Maybe, because let's really be honest with you, because you're going to a TV studio, people can be sitting all over the world, can't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No bother. And it's, I don't think it should be
the news is going on there with the Chinese AI. You'll be phoning a phone line in China and getting it.
Or they'll be phoning you. They'll no wait for you to phone them. But anyway, so if you get independent VAR officials, that's the way it should be. And then there's no Pals Act. There's no way, it's my buddy, I like him. We're out for a beer there. That's not right, mate. You've got to separate that. You're going to have it truly independent, and you've got to get credibility and trust back. You've got to start looking at these things and going, right, independent VAR team, and you need to start using VAR properly. And if you're wrong, and you see you're wrong, call it right away. Stop this appeal and all this, go through all this process. It's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. You can see Clement walking off the park. He was absolutely fuming.
Aye, he was. I don't know who he was messaging, but I think it looked to me as if he was messaging the directors. They say, you need to support me here. This is ridiculous, yeah? I mean, I'm not a lip reader, as you know, Albert, but that's what I felt he was saying. I might be right.
Oh, he's definitely looking for support. He's definitely making a point. No, I mean, there's no doubt about it. And rightly so. I mean, if that's game sitting at 1 each, 2 each, or whatever it was, and it's really, or 2-1 basically, and you're sitting going, there you go, what's happened here now? Oh, we've got a player saying that. Oh, and by the way, he's carrying on with the extra time, or the injury time. So that would have went up to the 95 minutes. I need to give you extra time because all this controversy here. Normally they'd have went, oh, there's a couple of minutes to add on to that because of the VAR and all this. Straight away, blow the whistle. Because he knows you've made a complete mess of this, an absolute complete mess of it. Anyway.
Well, I would ask you, what was worse, that incident or the Hadji tackle in the first minute? So you've got to referee the first minute, you've got to referee the last minute.
I mean, Hadji's lying down. I mean, that boy's already took a bad injury, albeit an accident, a niche, or that. I can't remember. It was one of the lower teams. He takes that injury, and he's basically out for over a year. Had to get practically his knee rebuilt, and he's more sensitive to most players. Going, woof, I know what can happen with. But that was out and out thuggery, mate. That was nothing to do with an accident or a late tackle. That's just thuggery, absolutely. But I said. That's a good one. That's his tactic, mate. He's said, let's rough these boys up, and especially the football players in the team, let's rough them up and see how they're going to handle it. Some people might say, well, that's a tactic. That's the way it is. All I'm saying is there's roughing up and total and utter brutality, mate, and that was brutality. Andy Amondi, he was getting kicked all over the shop.
Aye. Anyway. That was always my issue, Robert. I thought this would get bigger and bigger and bigger as Sunday went on, and I watched it back, mate, and I thought, this is going to be a farce, and we're going to be talking about a decent victory. It's going to take the gloss off. Well, I don't think we can play better, and we have played better this season, particularly in Europe. Away from home, and I'd argue there was the first half an hour at Easter Road. We didn't have that intensity in our game there on Sunday, but it was a comfortable away when it ended up that way. These grounds are traditionally tricky, and we went there and we performed better than we did at the start of the season. So we won the game 3-1. You want to talk, it's all been rightly pointed out. You want to talk about, and Salah, how did he do? Young boy, what did you think of that? Again, man, he's flicked these nutmegs, particularly in the second half. What are we talking about? Yeah? Or is it just me?
No, you're right, mate. It does. These decisions overshadow games, and as I said, there's individual performances in there that, yeah, they may not have been the better performances than we've seen, but again, it's development in these players. Man, his flair, his ability, his confidence that he's got to do all these wee kind of nutmegs and flicks for a guy who was a third choice striker, brought in is going to be a project over time. And he's come in, hit the ground running, went to number one striker, and deservedly so, in my opinion. But again, you're talking about a referee decision, and you're going to keep doing them because that's the talking point. As I said, it's what gets people talking. Nobody talks about a football match anymore unless there's a no controversial decision. But it seems to be, as Albert said, that these are happening far too often, and they're going to continue until something's done about it. Now, you can go and ask the SFA for the audio, you can put out statements left, right and centre. Nothing's going to change. Nothing will change until the standard improves. But with who we've got in the governing body, it's not going to happen for a long time, mate. And we should be talking about individual performances, the goals scored, the character to come back from 1-0 down, criticise some parts of the game in terms of another goal lost from a set piece, to kind of look at it in that sense, but talk about the game as a whole. Not just a 30-second moment of absolute madness. But unfortunately, as Albert says, that's the way football is these days.
Aye. Listen, I agree with some stuff Albert says about the refereeing. I think in England with the goal line technology, I've always thought that about the timekeeping, especially when they brought the fourth official in back in the day. I thought that was the ideal guy. He done the timekeeping. And the referee just concentrates more in keeping his eye on the play. So he's not got to keep thinking about his watch stopping it and all that. I always thought that was a bonus. And then you've had VAR. And I was like VAR. I think it can change the game and hopefully they're better. I don't know if it has.
Well, it might have dropped the standard of refereeing. You could. There's an argument for that.
Right, maybe.
They're just doing it as a cop-out now. But these referees on an individual basis should be asked for the governing body of the referees, i.e. what they call them. They should be taken in and saying, right, we need to ask you a standard set of questions here, by the way, and find out exactly how they're feeling. Because at the end of the day, there's something no right here. And if the answer no to any of your questions, you're going, well, nobody's influencing you, so you're just a bad referee then. That's what it comes across as. If you want to correct us on this, well, come out with your reasoning, what you're up to. Because there's too many. Clancy, I mean, that's a clown, that guy. A total and utter clown.
Oh,
a referee.
It was a while ago now. When was that? 2021 or something? Something like 2000 New Year 20. That was one of the worst refereeing performances I'd ever seen. When he sent Morelos off, yeah, and all right, you could argue about Alfie's red card or second yellow, whatever it was, mate, but they gave them that penalty. And by the way, we won the game, and we're saying that, Albert. We won the game.
Absolutely, mate. That's the only time you really can say anything with any credibility, isn't it? If you start greeting moaning when you get beat, it sounds like sour grapes. But we all know it's not. It's not. I'm the first to admit that we get beat, and how you get beat is basically down to your own performance or lack of it. I'm one of the first to do that. I'm not going to sit here. No, some people call this happy clappers. No, this nonsense is garbage. But anyway, well, no. I'll critique the game and critique the players as we see them, and I think we're pretty fair.
The people who don't know us, Albert. The people who don't know us.
The people who don't know us, exactly, mate.
Anyway, we've got to that time of the evening, and we're going to have a tune.
Rangers do not Ibrox is the place, and we will follow in the championship race. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. It's true, the magic boys in blue are the best team in the land. You've got to queue and govern to get a ticket for the stand. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. We've spent a lot of money on great players, yes that's true. But the Rangers fans deserve the best from the boys in royal blue. Yes it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. The story, it was dismal, full of gloom. Now we're building an extension for the Ibrox trophy room. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. In Europe we'll be travelling by land and sea and plain. The Teddy Bears have got the bears and we're on the march again. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Right, we're back, gentlemen.
Yep.
Dear, that tune, every time I hear it, I think of Big Stevie, mate. Many moons ago, mate. When that was put in the show, he sent me a clip. Him and his bad tribe all dancing. It was absolutely fantastic. What a man. What a household. What a group of people. I think we've got William back. Evening, William.
Good evening, brothers.
William, how
are
you
you
doing,
talking about
pal?
referees? You talking about
I'll
referees
talk about it.
again?
I'm
No
worried.
winner. No winner. Tell you, there's no referee on the planet that can go out and cheat every other week and get away with it. You just can't do it. You can give you a dodgy decision here or there, but they're doing it too often. And with the VAR, you just can't. I mean, he can say, "Oh, I saw this, I saw that." He saw something that never happened. That's what he saw. But the VAR has got various angles. And when they look at it for the various angles, they get them out at the monitor and they say, "You've made a mistake. It's not a red card. Just get back on there. Tell them it's not a red card and get on with the game. You've got 30 seconds to go or whatever." But no, the ego, the wee man syndrome and the big ego, they couldn't do that. They couldn't just accept they'd made a mistake.
William, can I just come in there for a second, mate? Let you
carry on, aye.
The only saving grace, the only way out for him is the audio. If he's went to the monitor, right, and they keep showing him, I think they keep showing him the same angle that he's seen it at. If he's no asked them, wait a minute, you're showing me the same angle I've seen it at, and I've gave a red card. You need to show me other angles that you've called me over for. Now, that's his only saving grace. If the audio proves that he's actually asked for the other angles but never got it, that's a saving grace. You turn around and say, that now flips up to the VAR team to say, why are you not showing him the other angles? You've shown him the angle he's seen it at, and he's already made his decision on that. You must show them the angle that you have noticed that it's a mistake.
Aye.
You know what I'm saying?
That's it, Albert. They've got to say to him, we've seen an angle, and we're sure, 3 years here, we've seen it's not a red card. We're telling you now it's not a red card. It's like the linesman. See if the linesman shouts the referee over and he says to you, like, he just punched him in the face, and you were looking up there and he punched him in the face. He's got to go and send that player off.
Yep.
He's just got to.
That's what happened.
If the linesman says, I've seen it and you never seen it, he's got to send that player off.
Aye.
So if they're telling him we've seen this for various angles, you've made a mistake, he's got to go back out there and rectify that mistake. And look what happens. He's been fun out. Maybe he thought the SFA were going to back him up.
They couldn't, because it never happened. What he said
That's
happened,
right.
never happened.
That's it. See, when you're a referee, you think, as the game goes on and you get into certain incidents and players come together, it's in your mind what could happen. You're thinking what could happen here. You know, the ball could get knocked away, or he could kick him, or he could barge him, or you're thinking what could happen. But he's went one step further. What he thought was going to happen never happened, but he's acted on what he thought. And it's left him in no man's land. And where is he now?
He's watched the telly at the weekend. He's got VAR. He can't watch the telly. He's not very good at it, Robert, is he? Yeah.
He'll need to get his wife to tell him what's happening. Yeah.
You couldn't make it up. You couldn't make it up.
No, the ego's too big. Big FIFA game during the week, you know.
You know how difficult it is to make a decision when there's a coming together or something happens and you've got to make a judgment. Yeah? And that's without the TV and the crowd and the reaction. Yeah, you just take a normal game of football, run the park, referee it. Everything's a split second. But he saw something there that never happened. So there's an issue. Yeah, it's not as if we're discussing where somebody, the ball touched somebody's on, we agree it touched his on. Then you've got to be subjective. I've got a different view for you, Albert. Was it deliberate or was he seeking an advantage back in the old days? But you've seen something that's actually happened. He's seen something there that never happened, William. So I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
He never gave us the time to think. He had that red card out so quick. He could have stopped the game and said, right, stop, and he could ask for the VAR to take a look at it. Because he thought he'd slapped him in the face, but he wasn't sure. He could have said, I'm not sure, because it's quite a serious incident if it's violent conduct. He could have asked him to check it. But no, he got that red card out as quick as he could. And he's made the biggest mistake of his life. Because that's him now. There'll be a microscope on him now.
Well, no before time. No before time.
Don't forget, by the
That's
way,
right.
there's been an SFA statement just after the game as well. He's talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
And basically they're saying, I don't say that, but I never really read the statement. But what the gist I was getting at it was that they said that they were getting the reason why he gave the red card. I don't think they were saying it was right or anything, because I thought, oh, they've come out with this and they're going to prejudice the actual appeal we're going to put in, but it didn't work out that way. But I don't. I think what they were saying is the reason they gave the red card was it was violent play, which then makes them look silly as well. It's total incompetence right through this mob. But it's for trying to save their own face, they make themselves look even
Who made
worse.
the statement, Albert? Do you know who made the statement?
I don't know, mate. I don't know. But I think the only person that could come to is Colin himself. I don't think anybody else has the authority to put it out.
Mm-hmm.
But why are they coming out so quick with it? Why did you say, we'll leave that, we'll have a look at it ourselves, we'll see if Rangers appeal,
Absolutely.
We'll take it to the appeal. It's not.
You can't go guessing and something like that. You can't speculate. You've got to wait till you see the evidence. I mean, nobody knows exactly what the referee saw. We've not have a camera angle seeing what he saw, but we've got camera angles that see what happened, and that's what we need to see. As Albert says, he's just imagined it.
Is anybody can make a mistake? We know that, William. Anybody can make a mistake. It's fair, and you don't like it, but you can accept it and go, right, he's seen an angle, he thinks he's seen him hitting him. That's fair enough, and he's gave the red card. Fair enough. But once you get taken out and they say you need to have a look at this again, that's when it all starts going really pear-shaped for him. Know what I mean? It's nuts, mate. You're going, there's your chance now to bail yourself out of this. If it is wrong, I see it's wrong. Right? They show him it, and he just doubles down, and you go, well, that's the end of you, son. Your credibility is right out the window now. It's just gone now. We don't trust you now, and that's the end to it.
Because Robertson knows he's got to tell him. If Robertson doesn't tell him what actually happened, then it's on him.
Aye.
So he'll have to come out at the monitor and say, hey, I've done all I can do. Or maybe I can do. I've told him what happened. He doesn't want to accept it. It's on him.
Aye, so it's the same way we don't trust Frank Connor. No, I mean, we just don't trust that.
Here's one for you. Robert, I know you're a big follower of Southside Super 6. By the way, if you put £10 on it Saturday, how much do you think you get back?
0.
Right, well, thanks for that. He was busy and got caught up on Friday night. We never put it out there on Friday night, but he put it online, and it was a bummer. Right, Robert. Right, in this modern day of football, right, what happens if you've backed that game there to have X amount of cards or one red card again? Or no red cards, and that happens. What happens to your bet?
Strangely enough, it pays out, mate, even if it gets rescinded.
Aye.
Just your quid's in.
No, it did happen, didn't it? He did go off the park.
Aye.
He did go off the park, so it counts.
What
happens if it gets rescinded after VAR? So it doesn't. You don't get paid out then because he's still on the park.
Don't get paid out then.
No.
You know. I think you're right, Albert, to be worried about the game. How do we sort this out then, William? In your opinion, how is somebody's done a bit of training, bit of coaching with referees? You know, you can't put in there what's not there, eh?
Well, as I said, the wee man that was in charge of the referee department, he walked away because there's referees being promoted that shouldn't be. They're not being promoted because they're good referees. They've been promoted for other reasons. Crawford Allen, that's why he walked away. Because he knew his stuff. He had a long experience. I mean, Wally Cromwell's never been a good referee, and yet there he is running the referee department. How can that be right? Well, no, we've all seen him over the years. He's never been a good referee.
He got promoted for telling lies and cheating.
Absolutely. The Alistair Johnson punched ball.
Right?
Yeah.
Get a sell into a pickle with that one, I know. They get a sell into a pickle.
Another one that's seen something that never happened.
That's right.
Or did they see something that did happen?
Aye.
It happened, but he's seen something else.
He's seen something else, mate.
Right.
The defender punched the ball at a place, so we'll start with a goal kick. What? Say what? 40 minutes later, that was offside. It was offside, shows the picture. It was like a 7-year-old that picture. A 7-year-old could have done that picture.
Right.
It was
Just
a
moving
joke, that
back
picture
to
of Seema.
the game at the weekend. Have we
Aye.
stumbled on something? If you were picking the Rangers team now, would you have Egerman behind Dessers before Bajani or Danilo? Or would you go back with Egerman up top and Dessers maybe no play? Because I don't think Dessers could play that role. Or would you play with the two of them right up top? What's your thinking? Albert, then William.
It's worked so far with Egerman and Dessers coming on, and then we started on Sunday. But do I like it? If it's effective, aye, obviously. I don't think you're doing any favours to Egerman. I think you're taking something away from his game. I'm talking about in the striking position. But again, it's not about individuals. It's about what works. And if we're winning games, it works. So leave it alone. It's like Danilo was on, and Hadji and Barami was on the subs bench, and the forward line worked. It looked fluid. Everybody was moving. It was great, especially against Kilmarnock. So you sit and go, well, that's it. That's your solution to most games. But we didn't stick with that for various reasons. We didn't stick with that. But I'm a great believer it works. If something that works, don't change it. Leave it alone.
Okay. William, your initial thoughts?
I think Bajrami, he's needing a spell on the bench. He was terrible, and he has been terrible lately. Lack of content. He's not getting involved enough in the game. I don't know what he's thinking about. I don't know if he doesn't know he's in the right position or what. If he was out of place where he is or what. But can we rely on Dessers up there on his own? And as Albert says, you're taking away from by playing Iganami a bit deeper. You're taking away from him a bit for his game, a big bit of his game. I think he's an out-and-out goal scorer, and he's a tough wee character. You know, he can fend off his defenders and stick the ball in the net because he's got a powerful shot as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think we can rely on Dessers up there on his own. No. Although we see the goals he scored, but he's missing a lot of chances.
Aye, they're different type of players. I don't think Dessers can do.
Yeah.
Dessers can't do that close control, and but Egerman can do. You know, and it's just whether people think that's the answer or we stumbled on something. Would that get the best out of Dessers with another striker next to him who looks as if he's a different player altogether for Danilo, Albert?
Oh, definitely, mate. He's Dessers, are you talking about different for Danilo, or are you talking about Egerman's different for Danilo?
Well, Egerman, but honestly, both of them, if I'm honest.
Aye. They're three different type players, the three of them. They're none of them like each other. No, I mean, but the good thing about it, I suppose, is you can get a combination now. You can pair any two for three, and I think it would work, mate. I think it would work. But the better player at the moment, who's the better player, skill-wise, technique-wise, is definitely Egerman. But Big Dessers has scored some beautiful goals recently and in the past, to be honest with him. But he's also had misses. But forwards do that, don't they? And Danilo I think he's a clever player as well. I think he actually plays the 10 role better than Egerman. I think he's got a pass. He's got an eye for a pass. But the good thing about Danilo, his weight of pass is always near enough, always spot on.
Well, Bear, do you think in the summer, if things carry on with Danilo the way they are, we maybe need to let him go? He's missing a lot of games.
Who's that?
Aye, that's a good
point. The trouble is with that argument, William, nobody's going to sign him.
True.
I think there's a few players that's left now. We're getting rid of a lot of them, but the ones that are left now, it's on that treatment, need to seriously have a look at themselves now and say, look, I'll not be here, and I'll not get renewed contracts here if I don't start playing football games, and a lot of football games, not just one or two football games, or 20-30% of the season. That's no good to us, mate. We're in a situation in the club where we need everybody to own the pumps. We can't have people saying, "Well, I'm just going to have a wee sunbathe. We'll use our own the pumps." You're going to have to pull your weight. You've got to pull your weight, mate. And too many players are no pulling their weight. So Danilo comes into that. Sterling comes into that. Suter, I'd say he's on board. He's on a border now. He was having to come in at first, but we got to run a games with him. But if he starts coming back and then dropping out again, he's in it as well. So there's a few players in it that really seriously need to look at themselves in this injury front and saying, right, okay, are you actually up for this? Do you think your body, like Ruth, he should never have been a professional football player, mate, and no through lack of skill. I'm talking about his body was never up for the professional game. Either that, he's a con man.
Aye. Santa Claus. See him once a year. He always produced the goods, but you only seen him once a year.
Oh, he was a football player. There's no doubt about that. He was a rare football player.
Aye.
No in the standees, no.
Well, I think
he's a luxury item.
What summed Roof up was when he got the winner at Hampden in a semi-final, and then in a mud bath managed to dislocate his shoulder.
I'll tell you. You couldn't make that one up, couldn't you? As soon as he went down, you're like, oh, he's out and he's injured. Oh no, here we go again. Off he went, never to be seen again. We're going to the stage now. I know there's certain injuries that you can't legislate for, but the muscle injuries and the hamstrings and the groin ones, you're sitting going, well, I don't know anything about fitness and all that and how they can prevent that or reduce the percentage of it happening. But definitely there's other injuries there. There's other ones that you can't. They block like Connor. What do you call him? Barn. He blocked the guy down at Manchester. That's just a block, and they happen to have that same sort of tackle. And next thing your knee pops or something happens to your knee, and that's it. I mean, you can't legislate for that. It just happens in football. It's just a football injury. But we say maybe get a lot of injuries, mate, for whatever. It's not the only team. Other teams get it as well. So we're no unique when it comes to a lot of injuries. There's teams. You look at that Spurs team, they're fell apart, by the way. The amount of injuries they've got. But you're looking at it going,
he runs his players into the ground. That's what he does. See what he did with the Celtic team? He ran them into the ground. And when he does that down there...
He also got away with fouling, mate, up here that he doesn't get away with.
Oh, he's cynical. Oh, his tactics were cynical. Absolutely. Yeah. See, that's how I said. When he was up here, he could go 6 weeks without even a yellow card. And down there, he got Spurs in his first 15 games, 46 yellows and 3 reds. That's the difference with the referees.
Standard of the referees different now.
I think he's lost the dressing room because he's running his players into the ground, and they're big money players. They've got big egos. They're not going to do that. They're not going to run at 100 mile an hour for 90 minutes. I
think he's lost the boardroom, to be honest with you.
I think he's lost the boardroom, it'd be gone. Robert, what's your take on the Iggy man behind Dessers? Were you happy with it? Would you go forward with it? Would you want to go with 2 right up top in certain games, and even if Danilo playing behind them?
I'm not opposed to it, Ox, if I'm being honest. I think we've got a number of players that can play in that 10 position. I think Iggy man offers something different than the ones we've got, i.e. Bajrami, although we've not seen a lot of them in there, and Hadji. For me, Iggy man likes to kind of roam out in the wide areas as well, so it draws defenders out, creates a bit more space. I think it was kind of evident to us all that when they did have Danilo and Iggy man in the side, that we played probably a better football. So I think there's definitely a position there where you could maybe have all 3 on. Obviously, if the chances are available and the injuries are free and the game's right for all 3 to play, Danilo maybe out on the left. It's certainly something to think about. I think it gives us more attacking threat, probably a more goal scoring threat as well. I just think it gives Iggy man that free role. But I do think that he's probably still the better one out of Dessers on form to kind of get us a goal, despite obviously Dessers scoring 2 and 2. But no, I see the logic in it.
It's 6 and is it 6 and 4 he scored Dessers? Is it?
Aye, it's got to be close to that. He scored 5 and 3.
Aberdeen did United.
Aye, 6 and 4.
Man United in a hat trick against Fraser. 6 and 4. Come on, Robert.
That was based on the last 2 games, aye. But I can see the logic, mate, and I think it does give us more attacking threat. But I don't know. I still like Hadji in that 10 position. I think some of the balls that he can put through to whoever is up top, whether it be Dessers or Iggyman, is probably more technical. But if you're going forward in a game where you want goals, you've got the two players that can do it.
All right, I think we've been joined by Bob Chair. Evening, Bob Chair.
Good evening, Ox. How you doing, lads? All right?
Yeah. ACDC man.
The what?
The ACDC man.
All right, right. Oh, definitely.
Right.
Yeah,
I love
I've seen
them.
them 6 times. Unbelievable. Anyway,
I saw them once, 1980.
Whereabouts?
It was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
it was amazingly loud that night. I went away in the toilet for 10 minutes. I couldn't take the volume anymore.
Oh,
I think that's the last time I seen Bon Scott alive. Anyway, apart from ACDC, we'll talk about RFC. Albert, I was with you earlier on. You're right enough of what you said. The game is football, and you're not allowed to touch the ball with your hands. Accidents happen. Occasions happen. To me, you touch the ball with your hand in the 18-year box, it's a penalty kick, it's a stonewaller all day. Because I'm not a fan of this VAR, and to me it's practically killing the game. And I don't like it, but that's only my opinion among thousands. So there's
you hear that, Oxshire, that's 2 each now.
You're breaking up there, Albert.
Penalty for me, Albert.
If I just equalised there, Albert. Oh well.
You did, mate. You did.
Yeah.
The first time in your life
Another thing is, I have
Albert.
never seen a club with so many injury problems as Glasgow Rangers. All right, I didn't look into the in-depth of every club, and I know that every club gets injuries. It's a contact sport, the whole football, but the amount of big games I've seen Rangers get into with a substandard squad isn't real, and last Thursday was one of them. All these people, 10 and 11 players sitting in the stand, that's no good enough. That's what you pay these people big money for to go out and perform for you. If they're not fit enough to do it, well, they shouldn't be at the club. It's as simple as that. I think this Cortez is going to be one and over the looks of things. I hope not. I hope the laddie comes good for us, but it's a never-ending catalogue of injuries.
Aye.
And it's got to be 10. Got to be 10 on and sorted out. Because it's costing the club a fortune, let's be honest.
What I would say was with Cortez, I mean, the jury's out. The jury's out. Time will tell. We've not seen enough of him. Robert?
No, you've certainly not seen enough of him. I mean, I know you can pick up injuries, and obviously the one he got early on in his first spell, like Kilmarnock, was a real blow. And he looked bright from the times we did see him then. But as Bob just says, hopefully it's not another case of a player that's on the treatment table more than he is on the park, because that's not what we need. We need everybody fit, firing and ready to go. But it does seem to be that trend that we're stuck in, with players picking up knocks and then the longevity of the recovery, and then they get a knock in training which sets them back even more. Yes, kicks, knocks and bruises can happen, but there's got to be a more to it, because as Bob just says, there's a growing list every single season now, and it is a bit concerning.
Oh, Ben, I know you're a man for a list, but is it an overtime fiddle?
There's something going on, mate. There's definitely something going on. It's football. You're going to injuries. It's a fact. But Bob Jail's right. It just seems to be you get more in your fair share of these long-term injuries. I mean, an injury now is, you're talking minimum now 6 weeks. You very rarely get a player back within a week, within 2 weeks. Yeah, it happens, but it's rare. It's always 6 weeks, 6 weeks, 6 weeks, 6 weeks plus. I mean, how long's Suter been out now? Still, we don't talk of him. How long's Sterling been out? Don't talk about him either. Cortez come back and then he's away again. He's already missed most of the season. I mean, you seen him for the first game of the season, and then he was out practically for half the season. Then come back, couple of cameo roles, then he's out again. Daniel's the same. I mean, these injuries that we're going on about, it's not the wee ones that you get, like Barnes' injury and Taves' injury, you know what I mean? They block ones. They happen. They do happen. And they're bad injuries, these ones. And they're painful injuries. But it's these long-term injuries. You're going, everything seems to be like, Ridvan, he was out for 3 months with a hamstring. Well, was it a hamstring? Or a thigh strain or something? It's too long. That's the point I think everybody's trying to make. We don't mind the injuries. It happens in football. We know it happens in football. But Good God, everybody seems to be out forever. And
Aye, I
then
mean,
the-
if you take Big Shooter, mate, he was injured in December. We're moving into February and Saturday, mate.
That's what I'm saying. And it's
Aye.
not that. The way modern football is, and you're cramming all these games in a short period of time now. I mean, you're getting the 3 games a week. And if it's just league stuff and cup stuff, no, domestic cup stuff, forget about the European stuff. If it's just that, you're missing a hell of a lot of games in 6 weeks. So, I mean, think of all the games you're missing in 6 weeks. And you're going,
Yeah.
well, it's 38 games a season. Some of these players are missing 18, 20, 30 games a season. It's madness, mate. It's madness. I don't know. It's just complete and utter mad. Whether this schedule is one of the main causes, but this was happening before this schedule actually ever came in. I'll tell you one thing. See if these player unions don't get a grip of this. These boys, all these boys that are playing now, they're going to have short careers. They're not playing into their mid-30s, these boys. As Bob J says, or Wally says, William, sorry, said they're burning them out. They're burning them all out, and they'll know their longevity is not going to be there. You're not going to have a Davy Weir type situation or anything like that.
That's right, Albert. The game's faster now than it's ever been. And they're playing more
There's-
games than they've ever played. I mean,
Too
look at
much, isn't it?
Lawrence. He came in and played 5 games and then he was out for a year, I think. And he's in for a few games and he's been out for a wee while now.
Yeah.
That's just one of
But
those.
by the way,
You know?
Yilmaz was out for 5 months with his hamstring injury, Albert. 5 months.
There you go. 5 months. It's
I just
crazy,
checked.
mate.
Raskin
And
was out for 8 months.
And you're looking at these players and you're saying to yourself, spending a lot of money for these players, paying them a lot of money. I know money can't sort an injury. I know, like, because I pay you 20 grand or 30 grand a week, you've got to get out of your injury quicker. But it just seems that we need to find out why these injuries are happening. Is there anything we can do to stop them or reduce them? You'll never stop injuries in football. Bob Shear says, contact sport, you're always going to get them. But it's a length. Can we do something about this? What is happening with these players? My opinion, I know, and it's not the solution, but it's just an opinion that we're playing too many games. Put too many games in too short a period of time.
Aye.
Oh,
Yeah,
can I come in that
yeah.
again?
Yeah, on you go, mate.
I don't know about you, but part of me thinks as well that there's a side to it that you look at the kind of management structure and how the organisation is in terms of keeping these boys fit. For the past few days or weeks, I keep seeing the interview with Jermaine Defoe when he was here, and he was saying about the boys being in training, but in the gym before it, in the gym after it, the standards that was set by Gerrard at the time. Is there an issue that the manager's not setting a high standard that the players look after themselves? And although it's a player responsibility, is there something that the manager or the staff can do in terms of making sure that they're getting gym work and they're strengthening their bodies to try and avoid all these wee knocks and injuries that might happen?
Well, I've got to be really honest with you, mate. If you're paying somebody anything for £500,000 to £1 million a year or £1.5 million a year in wages, you've made a big commitment to that individual, and you'll expect him to do everything to maximise his output. And every one of them should have individual programmes and have to do different things at different times. Yeah, they'll not be training a lot this time of the year. None of them they'll all be about rest and recovery because the knocks start and the games are coming thick fast. But everybody they're paid too much money now just to go and train for 2 hours and then come away and do whatever they do. They've got to have bits and pieces now, whatever that is, whatever it's right for you, because it's going to be different for everybody, all bear in it, because we're no robots. Everybody's different, yeah. And it might be that you work on your skills, you work on your weights, you work on your pace, you might work on your stamina, whatever it is. That you're paying other people at the club to develop to maximise your input, to help you get better, to help you become more robust, to help you become fitter. And when I say fitter, I'm talking about this extra 1% or whatever, Olga.
Of course, mate. I mean, I think that actually you're right with the individual training because everybody's different and we're not all the same. So they all get their own programs and go. And I think they do that now. The problem we've got is this the right way? Is this the right way? Is it just strength, or as Robert said, is it this programmer in the gym before the game, in the gym after the game type situation? I don't know. I'm no expert on that. I'm not expert in anything for that part, but I don't know. But is anybody actually looking at the outside causes of these injuries? Is it, or is nobody get to the bottom of it? You just go to sit back and accept it. Well, if you've just got to sit back and accept it, well, these players shouldn't be getting paid the money they're on then. It's as simple as that, mate. I know down south it's just a scattergun approach with their cash. They just throw it about like confetti. But up here, you need to sit and say to yourself, well, I can't pay anybody. Apart from you can't afford it. Some players you can afford 20 grand or 30 grand, but you will pay it because there's no way you're going to get value for money. So why are you paying it anyway? So you just sit and say, I'm not paying it. It's as simple as that. I'd rather pay a boy and get 60% of the games played rather than play somebody 30 grand and get 20% of the games played. It's got to be looked at some way. It's got to be looked at. Some improvement for the club and for the supporters is going to take precedent, because at the moment it's all down to the players. I'm not for a minute thinking any of these players are swinging the lead. I might think it, but you shouldn't be saying it, I suppose. But at the end of the day, we're the ones that's going to pay the money. We're the ones that are supporting the club. We're the ones that's costing. So for being injured or sitting on a treatment table, you're still getting paid for that. And rightly so, it's a contract. You're entitled to it. But at the end of the day, it's not helping us. It's not helping the club. And you're sitting looking at it and going, 10 players injured. Good grief. And if you look at the 10, probably 6 of them are long-term injuries so far. It's not even, they've still got a way to go. You're going, well, they've been out for months already. When are they ever going to be fit? Are they ever going to be fit? I mean, we asked that same question with Tondo, Roof, all these players that we've had in the past. We've asked the same questions, mate, year in, year out, but we never get an answer.
On you go, Bob. On you go, then, Bob.
I think what frustrates us all is the nature of these injuries. I'm sure you'll agree with me, Albert. It seems to be groin strains, hamstrings, pulls, muscle tweaks, things that are long term. It's not the game itself where you're diving into tackles or taking tackles or dishing them out. It's still these seemingly never-ending stream of awkward long-term injuries. And Rangers seem to be subject to this for some reason, and they can't get to the bottom of it. And it's a nightmare. I don't know how many times I've came on the show. We've all came on the show.
No, if you look at it now, you've got Casemiro, who got his knee ligaments done playing for Holland. Sterling would get told get a kick in the foot. I'm assuming there's a problem with a bone in his foot. Yeah, I don't know. You've got Suter who done his groin. Nobody near him. Who else in the defence? Balogun. We'll put it into. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. We'll put it down to old age. We'll be kind, William. Yeah, because it's everything with Balogun, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I think. See, when I used to go to referees training, before we get instructions from FIFA with a CD, with everything, all the books and everything, and it came right for the top. And before we trained, there was like a 45-minute warm up. You had to be prepared. They say you need to be prepared before you even start training, because training is just running and sprinting and all that. That's all it is. They say training is running, and I mean it was very rarely ever anybody get injured. You know, groin strains, hamstrings, very rarely. Nothing like that. I mean,
maybe you've stumbled
upon something. Injuries. I mean, you get impact injuries, aye. Like Diamande get kicked out of the park. I wouldn't be surprised if he's injured. But these kind of, as Bob J and you said, we shouldn't be getting all these groin strains and that. And if a player, if he feels a twinge in his groin, he's got to go. You can't play on if you've got a twinge in your groin, because you're just going to make it worse. You'll end up with hernia, end up with an operation, and you're out for 6 months.
When Albert used to get a twinge in his groin, he used to get a pass out.
No, I used to pass out.
We're up the dancing with Fox.
William, maybe you've stumbled on the answer. Maybe we all should be following the referee's training schedule. I mean, they never get injured.
They never really do they? I mean, they're not getting impact. They're not involved in impacts. But the groin strains and hamstring, that's not an impact injury.
Well, the only injury they get is between the ears.
You're not well prepared, You're not physically prepared.
The only injury they get is between the ears.
You're not kidding.
But the injuries are the injuries, but nobody's ever come up with an answer to say, oh, this has happened, or this is how we're going to rectify this. Clement came in at the beginning and he said he's going to sort this. He said, I'll sort this because there's too many injuries when he came in. But here we're back to it again. But he's now got 10 injuries. Is a year and a bit into the 2 years or a year and a half into the job, and he's now experienced the same problems that other managers had with all these injuries. It just never seems to get better. You think you get out of it. You think, oh, we've only got one, maybe two players out with wee tiny injuries. Well, we're doing the next thing, bang, 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 bang. Within about 3 weeks, you've got 10 players out. Something strange going on. There's something definitely strange going on.
Robert?
You'll never get to the bottom of it until somebody actually comes out and says that there is an issue, or they try and rectify it. I mean, as we've said, we've sat here for a number of seasons now and discussed the amount of players that have not played games compared to what they have played and contributed towards the squad. And as Albert says, they're not benefiting the squad. If anything, they're hampering it. And then, I mean, you look at just now, you've got the likes of Lovelace, Curtis, Rice, all be given minutes because of the position we're in. I mean, it's great for them and their development, but if our team was fit, they wouldn't be anywhere near it. So that's a pro for their part, but the amount of injuries it is frightening. And I know as you say, these things can happen, but William's right. All the muscle injuries, there's something underlying, and then you always have the kind of whispers of, is a player really injured, or just isn't in the thoughts of the manager, or just doesn't want to be in the squad anymore. They always surface, but the guys that we've got on the injury table, as Albert says, 6 are long term, maybe even more, and some are key players to the squad as well. As you said, Suter, Casemiro, Sterling, they could all start a game.
But you say that about Sterling, mate. Now, I don't want to go any substitute appearances, but he started 19 league games in 2 seasons. Albert?
I mean, that's ridiculous, isn't it? That's just simply ridiculous. It's you sit and say, is it his makeup, is it his body that's not allowing him to do it? And if it is the case, these so-called medicals and before these players sign, they're pretty poor then, aren't they? If you can't pick up that a player is no physically ready to play at this level in this amount of games, well, he can't play for you then, can he? He's just simply saying, thanks, but no thanks. You just seem to sign him and then find out, oh, he's not going to manage this. We've done it that many times, mate, so it's not a fluke that we're doing it. We're doing it that many times that you sit and go, well, somebody's not doing their job here, or there is no way to tell. So all this carry on it, we do a pre-medical before we sign them. Is this just a smoke screen? Is this just a kid on? We say we do it, but we're not really doing much, and we can't really find anything deep-rooted or lying, but under the surface we can't really tell anything. But I don't know. There's got to be something getting done about it, because you can't keep doing this. This is millions and millions and millions of pounds we're spending. I'm not talking about other clubs, I'm just talking about millions and millions of pounds we're spending that we really can't afford to spend. We need to get our bang for our buck. We need to get these players playing and performing on the park. We're not even talking about the performances yet. We're just talking about getting them on the park to make numbers up. We can't even manage to do that.
Available for selection, Albert. Available for selection.
Aye, that's it. Come to your work. Are you ready for your work? No, I'm not ready. Good are you then? You're good to meet. That's it, isn't it?
Bob, yeah.
Aye, I mean, we're all singing for the same hymn sheet here. I look at this lot up the road. I'm not going to elongate about them, but they never seem to have the same catalogue of injuries that we do, and yet they're playing the same level of fixture. All right, maybe slightly above. They're in the Champions League. That's something we'll need to address. But the tennis, they just always seem to be able to rotate their squad for the games that they've got coming up. We can't. As you just mentioned, Lovelace and the young guys there, young Bailey Rice and the young boy Curtis. They never do that. They can rotate their squad all the time for the fixtures they've got, for to suit the fixtures they've got. We can't. We've never been able to do that. It's a catalogue of injuries, 6, 7 players out, right, 6, 7 reserve players that aren't up to it. I'm not going to name names, you know them all. They aren't up to it, and to me it's affecting the performance of the club as a whole. If we had a fully fit squad during Manchester last Thursday, I firmly believe we could have won that game. But there you go, catalogue injuries, 10 players sitting in the stand. It's something we can analyse out for, God knows how long. But it's got to be addressed for the good of the club and the good of the squad.
Yeah, you wonder what Birmingham was signed. I know Dowell's only in a short-term contract, but Birmingham was signed Wright, Davis and Dowell, who have hardly played a game of football for us consistently, have we? Robert and William.
Aye, they have, and I think Ben Davies in particular has played quite a bit of games time for them. I think they're actually playing tonight, and he's starting again. Scott Wright's come on as a sub, and Dowell's on the bench, available for selection. And Davis was always one that seemed to play a few games with us, and then again a knock, an injury, would miss a few, come back in. Scott Wright, your favourite Ox, you know, he just, when he was available, didn't live up to the cause, and then another player who had his injury worries as well. So these players seem to have their issues here, and then when they go elsewhere, you seem to either get more game time out of them or a better level performance, and that's probably because they're injury free and they've not got all these wee knocks. So what are other clubs doing with other players that are on loan that we can't do at our club? That's the question I'd be asking. And funnily enough, Fox, we thought the issue started when the doctor left, Mark Waller. He came back and it's not continued. It's still continued.
Doc Waller, in my opinion, done a fantastic job in the COVID period. If it wasn't for him, we'd have been in the same state as that day at Mob across the city. But he done a fantastic job at that time. But the injuries are still the injuries, isn't there? There's I don't think anybody's ever going to get the boat with what these injuries are about. It's just strange, but you can't say it's no strange because it is very, very strange. And now it's one of the ones. I truly believe, see if you can keep your squad near enough fully fit for the first 2/3 of the season, you'll win the league, no bother. You'll win the league, no bother, because it just seems to be that way, mate. That if you can get by the first 2/3 with a full squad, then take your injuries in the last third, but not as many as you're taking, I think you win the league. I think that's what they're doing. They're winning the league. They're getting the players fit and keeping them fit for that short period of time. One game after game after game, and then before you know what it is, league's done. Now we can take any injuries that's going, and they just rotate the squad for there on in. It's easy peasy, mate. It seems to be easy peasy. We don't see we manage it.
Can I be a wee bit dramatic here? Could it be a cultural thing? Is there something wrong? William?
Right.
I think it's something in the training. I mean, it doesn't help. As Albert says there, they get theirs done early in the season. We had some tough fixtures early in the season. They had the easier fixtures. In the first quarter, we had away to Hearts for first game, away at Pittodrie, we're away to the other side of the city, up to Ross County. You know, we had a lot of tough games early on. And we'd all the games there over Christmas, the worst of the weather. And we're all over the place. And obviously, they know for some reason it seems to be difficult for us to play away from home domestically. It's not a big deal playing away in Europe, but it seems to be a problem for us playing away. I mean, I think we had 8 players out in the Man United and we lost 3 during the game. That's 11 players out injured. That's a whole team. Whole team out injured. And I don't think it's, as I say, I don't think it's impact injuries. It's all groins and strains and all the rest of it. So there's something not right. I think you need to take a look at the training. It could be up at Murray Park or whatever you want. But it could be there's an indoor AstroTurf there. If they're training in that all the time, that could be a problem.
I don't see that when I watch. They're out in the grass, but I don't think there should be much training done at this time of the year when you're playing 3 games a week for the guys that's playing.
True.
Robert, you know.
No, you're right, mate. But the amount of fixtures, especially over the kind of festive period, it is about recovery. But that's probably more important, or just as important as the training itself prior to the games. How you recover and how you manage players' game time. I mean, you've heard Clement say that he's took risks with some players. Balogun possibly had a tear going into the Man United game. And obviously was unfortunate to come off injured. Now looks like he's going to be out for some time. No confirmation in that yet, but these players that have had injuries because of the position we were in, with longer term injuries, they've maybe had to play through the pain barrier. And a club like us shouldn't be doing that. If we're having to have a player who's 50 or 70% fit, give a young boy who's 100% fit a chance. That's, again, my opinion on that is give the young boys a chance, and they're getting a chance now because of the position we're in. But we shouldn't be in it in the first place. These players should be, as you're saying, you're paying the big bucks, take some responsibility, look at the training, look at the individual programmes. Once you get it all clicked together, you'll have a fit, fresh squad that you can rotate, as William says, get into these games where you can play a player on a Sunday, rest them in a cup game midweek or vice versa, and you can rotate. But it's how you manage them when you come back from recovery. And far too often we have seen players come back from an injury, play a handful of minutes, and then they're gone again, back in the treatment table. And I think that's down to the recovery as much as important as the training.
So we need somebody that's going to coach them how to do nothing. Albert?
Basically. I mean, we're talking about the injuries and how to solve it. First of all, before you can solve a problem, you need to understand what the problem is. That is our problem. We don't understand what the problem is. So we can't solve anything. Somebody needs to tell us. Somebody needs to know what they're doing. And it's a case of what I said before, the right people in the right job. This is what we need. Because it's got to come to an end sometime. We can't keep going on like this, mate. Because you're just going to end up going around in circles, and that's what we're doing at the moment, going around in circles. No, as I'm talking about the club and the team, medical staff, because I've always said that I don't believe the medical staff is and the fitness people are working towards the benefit of the club. I think they're working against the club at times, because the manager's needing a horn, and all he seems to be getting is he's no fit, and he's no fit, and he'll be out for months, and he'll be out for months. You're going, right, okay, that's fair enough, right? What are you doing to help, you know? Well, we're not going to do much to help you. We can't get anybody back to add to your squad. Okay, we'll look at the academy. We'll look at the B team. Oh, well, there's nobody in the B team really ready to step up with the first team, so you're not helping me either. It's a case of we all need to pull in the one direction, and I find that we're not pulling in one direction, and the injuries is part of that, mate. It's just we're not all going the one way. To win things and make a successful club and get Rangers back to where they should be, we all need to pull the one way. And it's taking a time to get there, but I believe we're starting to head that way. New injuries is one of the big problems. We need to solve it. We need to find what the problem is and solve it.
I never seen you as a One Direction fan, but that's just me personally.
One Direction. Yeah, One Direction's all right. Well,
I get it.
Cover your ears, Bob J. Cover your ears.
Harry Piles.
Harry Piles, aye.
That's impressive, Bob J. That's impressive.
Bum direction.
That's impressive.
When the extent is an AC/DC, One Direction, yeah.
Aye, we've done it all. Aye. Bob J, we're moving on. We never really get round here. I don't know why. We spent about 20 minutes on Hon Boys, didn't we all?
Oh, William, that's what I meant to ask you. Do you believe, William, that a handball and a penalty area should be a penalty? No grey areas, black and white. Do you agree on that, or do you agree with?
That's the way it's meant to be.
Oh,
see that,
God!
See that one on Sunday with Gallagher? See this carry on, his arms are out because he jumped up. Well, okay, so he knows if he jumps up, his arms are going to go out. He could block the ball, he could concede a penalty. So to me, it's not an excuse if you turn round and jump up and throw your arms out. It's a penalty.
That's why you're a referee.
It's deliberate. It's absolutely. He's making himself a big target. He's making himself hard. You know, he's making a big block, trying to block the ball. He's making himself big. That to me is an out and out penalty.
You can't.
But we don't get penalties.
You can't claim that referees aren't very clever and use a referee to back up your argument, mate. Yeah, you can't.
3-2. Sit down and take the defeat. 3-2.
The referee's decision is final.
That's
He's just proved the point.
Let's be referee,
Right. Would you have been happy if that penalty had been given in the other box?
Absolutely happy.
Aye, so you would have been.
No, I've got to be happy if I'm claiming that a penalty. If you touch the ball with your hand in the penalty area, it's a penalty, black and white, and I've got to accept it in our penalty area as well. Aye, I totally agree with it, mate. I'm not just saying it so we get penalties. I'm saying it should be that because there's too much playing football with your hands. I just watch people play, touching the ball in the area with their hands, nothing given, and then grabbing a hold of people at corner kicks and free kicks.
I
And
agree with that one.
everybody's wrestling each other. You're going,
you could stop that. You could stop that in 2 games. Anyway,
you can stop it right away. Just start giving out free kicks and yellow cards. Simple as that.
Or
penalties. If it's the defender, penalties. Aye, absolutely. Every time.
Interesting, Robert. Interesting, eh?
Very interesting. Another great debate for another night, I think, for a referee special hosted by Albert. And balls, especially subject.
Specialist subject.
Anti-balls, that'll be a different show altogether. Right, interesting. Are you looking forward to Thursday night, Bob, before we go?
Absolutely looking forward to it, and I think the Rangers will do it. What's the situation? I asked you briefly last night, Ox. We don't need to win.
Listen, I've got to hear. I kept it for tomorrow night because, let me see. Right, there's 3 possibilities, mate, obviously.
Right.
We can win and we can finish...
Win,
and we can finish with 14 points and goal difference at least 6, depending on the result. And that will mean it's anything between 5th and 13th position, right?
Right.
We can draw and we'll finish at least 19th, but we could also finish anywhere between 11th and 19th, depending on the other results and the points you get in. And we can lose a game and we can finish in 23rd position, but still qualify. There you go.
Qualified.
Nice and easy to work out. You'd play the extra games, definitely all there, yeah. But that happened before. We played Dortmund. But we'll talk about that tomorrow night. Last word for your good self, William.
Well, Albert, you'll be pleased to know the officials for Thursday night are for Poland.
Good.
How's that going to work out for us? They're everywhere, aren't they? They're everywhere.
Definitely.
They're even chasing us around Europe now. Not enough for the day. Domestic games, they're chasing us around Europe. My God. Seen that today and I thought, no, please, no. Aye, good show tonight. Good chat. Enjoyed it. Thanks for taking my call. Keep up the good work, you guys. Take you guys.
Cheers, mate. Cheers, bud.
Thanks.
Cheers, mate. Bob,
I love to say the wee boy, he couldn't get himself a girlfriend. I says, we'll go to Poland, I says, because all the men are here. Anyway, great show tonight again. Brilliant topics. I'm sure sometime, somewhere, we'll get the bottom of this injury thing. Thanks for having me, guys. Have a good week. See you later, eh? Bye-bye.
Cheers, Bob.
Cheers, Bob. William. Robert, sorry.
I get to be back on, Ox. Always good to be part of the show. Good to be on my Albert again. I'm going for a lie down now and read a book on handball rules. Cheers, Albert.
They know nothing. Don't let them read.
I'm publishing one next week, Robert.
I'm a great respect to her age, but sometimes you've just got to ignore it.
Great show, mate.
Especially you're getting beat. 3-2, nice one, Albert. Go on there, son.
I'm going to get your chauffeur to have a word with you tomorrow.
Oh no, I'm not going to more. No.
Robert, carry on, mate.
No, just to say, mate, good show, good chat, good to have some callers on it and get their points of view, and always good to hear from the guys that called. But thanks for having me again, mate.
See you later, pal.
Cheers.
Yes. Albert.
Hey, can I finish my point about handball?
No, I've got my work tomorrow.
No, good show. It was a good talk. Good talk, mate. It's good talk. Good to get a victory. You know what I mean? I like to get a victory with you. It's good fun. It's enjoyed it, Bob, William, Robert, yourself, Terry, and Fox in the background. It was a superb show, mate. Excellent.
Yeah, thanks to William, thanks to Bob Jeff for joining us, and thanks to Robert and Albert for doing the show. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10, talking about all things Rangers. Take it away, old school boy.